Hey guys, it's time to do our Splinterlands Town Hall recap and SPS giveaway. Remember, if you follow the link to the Hive post, you're able to get on the wheel spin that we're going to do to give away 50 SPS. It's not very much money today, but if that flywheel ever comes working, then it could be more, and it might just help you a little bit if you need more staking. Sorry I'm not giving away a lot more right now, honestly. We're just starting to get out of the bear market. If things start to go a little bit better, maybe we'll up the giveaways. But, the channel, I'm not getting a lot of views. We're not earning anything from YouTube. And there's just nothing really going on yet to let me have a lot extra to give out anymore. Also, because I started doing the scholar accounts, I'm helping those scholars, but it gives me a little bit less to give to you guys. Sorry about that. But let's get into this town hall. So, they got the... Oops, this was my video. Wrong one. That's the video you were supposed to comment on to be able to be in the giveaway. We'll move that over there, and we'll move this over here, and we'll take this. Now, I just watched a little bit of it again just to make sure I didn't miss anything very big, and I would say mostly this town hall was kind of uneventful while being very eventful at the same time. Now, how can you say those two things and make any sense? Well, let's look at this. When we get into the world, Words with Wizards, we get a Gold League and higher ranked battles now going to 3 rule sets. That'll start tomorrow. We get 2 brand new rule sets. We get the first version of the land deed market, which is basically saying if you've claimed your land today and you haven't seen what it is yet, you'll be able to start listing it to sell it. That's like the awesomest crazy lotto ticket if you buy one of those lands because you don't know what it is yet and you'll have to reveal it. And then you get the moving the proposal page to the tech modernization. Also, he talked about some just small fixes throughout the things, and they put some more limitations on free accounts because apparently some free accounts were still able to do certain things like starting a guild. That doesn't make a lot of sense that you could do that, but they wanted to make sure that they weren't able to do some things that they shouldn't be able to do. And there were some updates for their third-party partners, which is really just some of the back-end things to make the stuff that has to do with the proposal pages and showing how proposals are on both Peak D and Splex, those two that have those. You just make it easier so that they have to work a little bit less to get the same information and tax the Splinterlands APIs a little bit less and stuff like that. But that's pretty big. And we're going to jump over here. We're going to out of this post and into this post here where they didn't go over all the battle rule set stuff inside the town hall because they did a post about it. So I just want to touch base on it. The big thing to see is if you're playing in bronze, you're going to have a 75% chance to get one rule set, 25% chance of a standard match. I don't know if that simplifies bronze or not, or what it was before. They don't really say that in the post, so sorry, I don't know if this is new or bad. Silver is now going to have 75% chance of 2 and 20% chance of 1 and a 5% chance of standard. Again, I don't know if that's new, different, or whatever, but then gold and anything higher, so diamond, champion, all tournaments, so every tournament you play in, and all brawls, is what I'm assuming, because these ones don't say tournament or brawls, have a chance of 75%, 3 rule sets, 15%, 2 rule sets, and 8% 1 rule set with 2% chance of a standard match. I feel like this is a little bit less and they're making a much more chance of much more random ability. One of the other things that they talked about here is they've reworked the way that these can be put together. They used to have a system where they basically had 2 categories or 3 categories where you had primary, secondary, and could be used at any time. So you couldn't never have 2 primaries or 2 secondaries in the same match because they would always either pick a primary and a secondary, or a primary and can be used at any time, or a secondary and can be used at any time. But they would never do secondary, or primary. Well, now they're saying that that is possible. They give you some pretty crazy rules down here where you could get something like a back to basics with an equal opportunity in an unprotected battle, which means no armor. Everybody loses all their skills, but then they end up gaining opportunity. So you're going to have this crazy opportunity match with no armor, but without any other abilities on the monsters that you select. This is stuff that we've never seen before. And they talk about how you could have broken arrows with even Stevens and taking sides. So this is a battle where you can only choose monsters that do not have ranged attack, have even mana cast and are not neutrals. So you'd lose all the neutrals. You'd have to take even cost people, and you'd have to have no arrows. This is where the team creation is going to get very interesting in the very near future. And the best thing for you, if you're a player of this major update that you might not understand, is that if your brain can wrap your head around these rule sets relatively quickly and put together a team, you might start to beat the bots a lot more. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens to the bots and their abilities to win going forward, not only because we're having new rule sets added in, but we're having new combinations that they've never seen before. You might have the bot not be smart enough to know that it's an equal opportunity game with opportunity and just play slow mages because that's what you're supposed to do in a equal opportunity match. Or no, I'm sorry, back to basis. But when you see that you're going to have opportunity, you're going to be like, oh, I got to play fast cards, right? Every card has, so I'm going kitty and I'm playing fast cards, and they might go a mage deck with a lot of magic damage, or they might go a counter to that where they do a bunch of archer damage with somebody with a summoner with magic reflect, right? Something like that. But you're doing kitty with a bunch of melee monsters that are super quick. You're not even doing magic because you're going to have them opportunity and flying all around the board. That could create some very interesting matchups where you just slaughter the bots because they don't do the right thing for the rule set because they're not able to see 3 rule sets deep. Now, machine learning will catch up to you, but if they can keep adding in new abilities on a pretty good cadence like they seem to be doing, given I don't know how many they'll be able to get to, it'll make it for a while where bots are going to be very much at a disadvantage. And one of the nice things about this is they're doing it in all tournaments that you can have 3 rule sets. That means all the bots that have been dominating the tournaments might have a bit of a hard time. We'll have to see if it makes a difference or not. I'm hoping it will. We're getting 2 new rule sets, so we're getting going the distance added in, where only monsters with range can be used. That's a little love for Fernheart. And you're getting wands out, where only magic attack monsters may be used. Maybe a little bit more love for Obsidian, but, also a little bit more love for all the summoners that have void. So both Mimosa and the Immortalis, right? So that's kind of nice for these ones. Immortalis would be very interesting because when you can give your entire team void and the green team is already a good magic team, he may be the summoner who you see the most in wands out. Okay, let's go ahead and get back over to the town hall. I know that was a little bit longer than people might have thought I was going to talk on that, but I really thought it was quite interesting what they're doing. And this is where I'm going to say, if you watch this town hall, it felt like not a lot was going on. But at the same thing, the team is putting out all these giant updates. When we got into Brawlhalla with Weirdbeard, they talked a lot about the community proposals. I'm not going to go too into this, but basically Weirdbeard was bringing up how it's getting kind of silly out there, and you're having proposals get voted yes when they're pre-proposals, and then big accounts coming in and shutting them down when they come into the regular proposal system. I think I might do a whole video kind of going over the proposal system and how that's shaping out. He also talked about the fact that you have somebody doing a counter proposal to a proposal before that proposal is even past the proposal system. So it's kind of like a funny thing where you're going to say the deck B potion proposal is actually pretty close to passing pre-proposal, and then it will have to pass the real proposal, where maybe some people who voted yes to let it become a real proposal will vote no, like they did to the staking one, and that could fail. But then you have a counter proposal to a proposal that failed. I don't even know how that works. It seems kind of strange. Of course, that one doesn't look like it's going to get out of the pre-proposal stage. I do think that we're going to have to deal with the fact that the pre-proposal stage is going to be a little bit messy, especially while 100k DEC is only $65. When it's $100, maybe it'll be a little bit more. And I actually remembered at the dinner with Matt, he said $100 to do a proposal, and I felt like that was too low. I told him I would probably do a lot of proposals. The only reason I haven't yet is because I haven't really had the time to write them up properly, and I wanted to talk to some people, and a lot of people don't think the team will be changing older cards. I actually want to put that question in on a town hall, but I wasn't able to watch this live today in the Discord, wasn't able to get that question in, so I'm going to ask that hopefully next week. We did find out we're having another Gladiator card tournament this Friday, but this is for players who own the Gladiator cards. So if you've been playing in Brawls a long time, you have a good Gladiator collection, you want to make sure you play in this. I missed the last Gladiator tournament because I was just too busy on Friday to enter my teams. Totally forgot about it. Got to Saturday and I had lost the first round. Obviously 0-11. I'm going to try not to do that in this tournament because I do have a level 3 Quora, so I think I might have a chance. But we'll see how that goes. There is also this special community nomination for leaders. I'm going to have this form link in my post. If you guys would like me to be a community leader for the proposal system to represent you, I am willing to do it. So you can nominate me and I will accept it if I make it into the voting stages. That would be kind of cool. It doesn't sound like there's any pay, just some extra work, but I would try to make sure that I was able to represent you guys, talk to you, and just be able to help hopefully anybody who's going to make a proposal find out if some of the bigger stakers out there would just shut you down so you don't waste your money. In the marketing scene with Chatter, one of the interesting things they said is basically as crypto is starting to go back up again, you know, it helps the Splinterlands bank account, but it also helps every other project's bank account out there. So all of a sudden you have a lot more people starting to answer their phone, return emails, and just be more in tuned with the ecosystem. They also talked about how there's a big game developer conference going on soon. They're continuing AMAs. They're going to be reaching out to more streamers because the Ali Straza one, while some people might think it didn't work because she hasn't really kept up with making videos about Splinterlands, she still does have a Splinterlands section in her Discord. You can still go there and talk to some of the players that did buy books, and if those players can stay with the game even if she's not being super public about it on YouTube, it you know, is good. And hopefully if you get a streamer where a big part of their community decide to come into the game, they'll be more inclined to actually play it. And I hope to see Ali Straza do some more stuff. So we do have a tournament coming up with GameSpace. This one's kind of interesting. They're going to be hosting a tournament for Splinterlands, Hearthstone, and I forget the other game they mentioned, but you can go ahead and check that out if you're interested. And you can sign up for any of the tournaments, including the Hearthstone one, if you happen to play that. They did talk about how Nifty Box did a partnership with Atomic Hub and Wax through their friends at Blockchain Heroes. So that's always just something that's exciting to see. The Nifty Box partnership just helps, again, with one of the partners of Splinterlands getting more things going on. And then we also had tokens.com and Hulk Labs gave some great publicity, including some emails and social blasts. And it was a huge shout out to Nifty Arcade, which is different than Nifty Box, but Nifty Arcade for helping work with them. And Nifty Arcade is the partner that I am working with on my Scholar accounts. I'm going to be starting to do a series showing you guys how my Scholar accounts are doing and just kind of showing you how that marketplace is growing and when new features are coming out. Let's see, we got a release here, but this was one of the most interesting things that came up. They're talking about when the Chaos Legion packs stop burning and you can no longer win a pack in your chest, instead of giving us what would essentially be like $4 worth of SPS, which might be something they can't really do without messing up the other rewards. This is what's kind of problematic about DEC not being in the system anymore, that they make a small promo pack release that would be only used in chest. The nice thing about this is could be a separate chest that a set that we could only use for playing the game. It would actually help a lot with the loss of soulbound rewards cards, because these would be special packs that you could of rewards cards, because these would be special packs with cards in theory, unless these are soulbound too. But if these cards are normal because they come in packs, they would be really special. Now the weird thing about these, to where I wonder if you guys would vote for them, and I think most people would, just because they want to see us get more packs, keep getting packs in our rewards chest, is that they said that they would be using characters from major movie studios. And basically what you could imagine is they would take a character from a movie and kind of do him up the way they do up the people that they put on the business cards. If you see everyone except for Aggroed, who is an orc, if you look at some of Chatter's or Weird Beers was shown today, then you can see that they're able to kind of turn that person into a fantasy-ish character, but they could still have them be Weird Beard or Aggroed or Matt Lighthacker. you can see that that's what they would probably end up doing to these cards, but you'd still be able to tell that it was somebody recognizable from a movie studio. They wouldn't say what movie or studio it would be, but we do know they have an old relationship between the Warner Brothers movie studio, and we've never seen anything come from that. So if they could get the right to use that IP in their game, it would be kind of interesting. It did say it would be kind of interesting because you might get some mainstream eyes, because people might like a game where they can come and they can play with a favorite movie character, and it could be interesting. We got a big section I'm not going to talk too much about with Royal Eagle, the lead of the support team. Basically, what this was showing is that even after all the layoffs, they're still keeping up with a pretty good 10-hour resolution average for any issue that is brought to them, and they don't have a lot of tickets in the queue. And then he gave out some safety tips. You should know, don't store your keys in email, use keychain instead of copying and pasting keys from a notepad, and in-game methods of transferring assets. And the first time you're gonna try to do something like transfer something to Hive, to Wax, or to Hive Engine, or to BSC, sometimes it is worth it, even though there is an extra little fee, to do a test transaction of a lower number just to make sure things go to where you thought they would go before trying a big one, because they cannot reverse all transactions. They can work with some partners to fix some transactions issues, but if you withdraw your DEC to me, they can't just take it from me. They would have to get me to give it back to you. Now, I know I probably would, but still, I am Stever82. There is a Steve R on Hive, and if he gets anything that was meant for me, I don't think he's ever given it to me. Splinterlands TV had a major announcement, so you guys should know I will definitely take part in this. So if you watch my streams, the big thing is they're going to be giving away 2 legendary cards per stream for the month of February. That means that every single time I stream on Wednesday nights and Sunday mornings, even when I stream for only 1 hour, I will have 2 legendary cards, and they mentioned they might be 2 legendary summoners to give away to the crowd. Now, I don't know the rules for the giveaways. I don't know if I'll have to do them a certain way. I have my way I do my giveaways, but these will probably have some rules given to us. Also, on the clip of the week, they said that not a lot of people have been doing that. If you guys happen to watch my show and there's any moment in there where I do something kind of funny or is kind of goofy and you want to clip me, go right ahead. I'd love that. And then they get into the past summaries. Now, they never go over the Q&A section. During the Q&A section, there wasn't really a lot of stuff that was given out. They didn't have the Death Summoner stats. That was kind of a big miss from this, and it will probably come out in a post in the next couple days. Matt just said that wasn't totally ready. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's thinking, could this be the first time we get a Death Summoner there that doesn't debuff? The rewards one doesn't, but I'll be going over the rewards cards soon. They did come out today. And that was the big miss. Other than that, you had a lot of people kind of asking about, one question I thought that was kind of interesting and Aggro answered, which was kind of, good news for me, is that when he said, the DEC pre-proposal is barely passing right now with saying it's going to cost us 10,000 DEC to buy one of these potions. And he said, well, in my mind, 10,000 DEC is the starting point. And then if you're burning some vouchers, maybe you can get a big discount. So it's kind of interesting to see a pre-proposal and I feel like this is a little bit them breaking their own rule, but where the actual proposal would be different, because if the proposal said we're going to have a DEC potion that costs 10,000 DEC to buy the potion, but you can burn up to 5 vouchers to get a 5,000 DEC discount and get them at half price, I think the community would act a lot differently, and it would pump vouchers and give them another use case. And maybe I would have supported it instead of voting no at that point, because at this point I was just like, you guys are going to make me spend $1,200 just because you want to at minimum. And now I'm like, well, now you'd be making me spend some money, but you'd be pumping an asset that I earn in vouchers and giving it another use case. And now I can get behind the idea of burning more DEC with the community. And so that could have been something I enjoyed. Other than that, in the AMA, I didn't hear anything that would have been absolutely groundbreaking or big news slip out. There was no major leaks. I was right about last time that we did get leaked. There would be a summoner in the rewards cards for every single team, and I was right. There is a summoner for every single team, even for Dragon. That was the one thing I wasn't sure on. So you're going to have Dragon summoners with with gladiators. That is disgusting, but we'll go over that in another video. Let's hurry up and get to our giveaway. I didn't do any shuffles this time, but we'll go ahead and see who's going to win. Who's going to be Blue Devil or Eternal Paul? It's going to get to Eternal Paul coming through with the win. So we will go ahead and grab this name. We will go into my real Splinterlands account and we will send him 50 SPS. 50 SPS to player Eternal Paul. Transfer out. Congratulations for winning. Thank you for everyone who checks this one out. I tried to do it quickly, but there was a lot I wanted to talk about, especially those new abilities. So hopefully you stuck with me. Thanks. Bye.